Hi, this is Heather from Beyond Labs, and today we're going to be looking at another episode of Show Me the Results in the Ecology Lab, where we're going to be testing the effects of climate change on populations of different species. So to start out here, we're in a temperate deciduous forest, and we've got three species. We've got mice, lynx, and grass. They're all set at some default values, and the climate is currently set at what it would typically be in a 40-degree latitude climate. So we're going to start off these populations so you can watch and see how they change over time. You can see them being tracked up here and see the levels of each one as the different predator-prey relationships happen. Okay, now after about 5 years, we're going to stop the simulation. There we go, and so we can see what the different levels are. It looks like our mouse population is exploding, lynx is going up a little bit, and grass is pretty stable. We'll save those into our lab book. And then we're going to reset the lab and go in and change the climate a little bit. So the IPCC, which is the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, is suggesting that at our current rate of change, the temperature could go up about 5.5 degrees Celsius. So if we change our temperatures here to go up about 5.5 degrees Celsius, that would take our max and our min to those levels. And now we're going to just run the simulation again. Okay, now after about another 5 years, we'll stop it again. And we'll save our results. Check out and see what the populations are doing again. Now we'll reset the lab again. And we're going to just make this a little bit more extreme. So we'll take the temperature up another 5 degrees. So if we change those values, and now we run it again. Now we've had another 5 years. We'll get ready to stop the simulation. There we go. And we're going to save this one. This one looks a little bit different. Okay, so now finally, as one last test, we're going to run the simulation and we're going to have a couple catastrophes happen. These would be, for example, if there was flooding or a fire or a drought, as often we might see with climate change. Those catastrophes are going to affect the populations of our different species, and we'll click this about every 2 years so we can see how this affects the big picture. Okay, there's our first catastrophe. And our second catastrophe, we just had wildfires or floods or some type of major situation that changed what was going on. Now we are hitting our 5-year mark again. There we go, and we'll pause it, and then we'll save that data. Now if we open the lab book, we can compare all of this data. This was our base normal climate that we expect for 40 degrees latitude. So if you see after about 5 years, the mouse population is up between 640 and 800,000. The lynx is between 120 and 160. And there's our grass, around 0.8 million. Now look what happened when we increased the temperature by about 5.5 degrees. Do you see the difference in the scales of what the mouse population was? It's huge. That is a huge difference for mouse populations. What about for the lynx? What differences do you see there? What results are different? Okay, see how the grass populations compare? Now we took it up another 5 degrees. So you can compare your scales there again. Our lynx look like they're remaining pretty steady. Look at this mouse population now. When we've gone up about 10 degrees, the mouse population has dropped to about 12,000, where in our initial normal temperature that we had, it was up at between 640 and 800,000. That's a huge difference. Now finally, let's look what happens when we have those catastrophic events. So we'll be comparing, this is the climate that compares with a 10-degree temperature change. So not a huge change with the mice, pretty big change with the lynx. And look with the grass change. Not a huge change, but definitely the catastrophes made a difference. So climate change can make a big difference depending on what species you're looking at. Huge changes ahead. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and go to beyondlabs.com to download the entire suite of virtual labs.